New Delhi has always tried to differentiate between complete condemnation of Pakistan and their armed forces. New Delhi has time and again said Pakistan and its army are two different things altogether. But sometimes the line is blurred. In September 2016, when an Indian army unit carried out surgical strikes across the line of control, it was revenge for the EORI attack. In February 2019, when an Indian Air Force wing crossed over into Balakot in Pakistan, it was in response to the Pulwama attack. Both these operations were responses to terrorist attacks on Indian soil. They also both had strong public support. But recently something happened that was unprecedented. In May this year, reports emerged that India was planning a major anti-terror operation in Jammu and Kashmir. This operation, codenamed Shindur, was being planned for months. It reportedly involved the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. All three branches of the Indian Armed Forces were involved. It was a major operation, but unlike the Balakot or Uri strikes, it wasn't in response to a terror attack. There was no immediate provocation. So why was the operation carried out? What was its objective? Hello and welcome to the show. This is Shindur Mission, so we begin with some basic questions. What is it? What was it all about? Well, we do not have too many details. Officially, the Indian government has neither confirmed nor denied reports about the strike. Some media reports claim that it was carried out at multiple locations. They claim the target was Gish Mohammed and its chief Masood Azhar. The operation reportedly took place in Afghanistan across the border. Now, India has never claimed responsibility for any cross-border strike inside Afghanistan before. It is unprecedented, and naturally, there are very few details. The government has not even admitted that the strikes happened, so naturally there is speculation. There are three main questions on everyone's mind. No. 1. Where exactly were these strikes carried out? No. 2. Who was the target? And no. 3. How is this mission different from past operations? First up, let's tackle the question of timing. Like I said earlier, there was no immediate provocation, no terror attack in India that was avenged. So why now? Well, that's question no. 2, and the answer to the second question will help us understand the first one too. See, this operation was reportedly aimed at Gish Mohammed or JM. This group is blamed for the 2008 Mumbai attack for beheading an Indian soldier and for the 2016 Uri attack that I mentioned earlier. Gish Mohammed is on a United Nations terror list. It has been sanctioned by the United States, the European Union, and India. And yet it operates freely inside Pakistan. It uses Pakistani soil to launch terror attacks in Kashmir. In fact, most terror groups in Kashmir use Pakistani territory to launch attacks. The question is, why not before? Why not if Gish Mohammed is operating from Pakistan? Why wait for months to carry out this mission? We don't know the answer. But here's my guess. India wanted to build a strong case first. You see, Pakistan denies everything. If India launched a strike without solid proof, Pakistan would have easily rejected it. The investigation would have benefited Pakistan. So India probably waited for a long time to gather enough evidence. The other reason is preparedness. This was not just another Balakot strike. Unlike previous strikes, this operation reportedly involved the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. It is a tri-service operation. It needed to be well planned and coordinated. India probably spent months making sure that all the services were prepared. That's one reason why it took so long. Now coming back to the question of timing, why now? Well, the Gish Mohammed chief Masood Azhar was in Afghanistan. He was hiding in Kabul. And Afghanistan was also reluctant to arrest him. You see Gish Mohammed as an asset against the Taliban. Remember, the Afghan government is an international coalition, not just the Taliban. It wants to keep all options open. So this was the best chance for India. You don't wait for terror masterminds to leave Afghanistan. Now, why was this mission different? What makes it so unique? As I said, it is a tri-services operation. For starters, it involves the Indian Navy. Reports say Indian naval assets were involved in the strike. Now, the Indian Navy does not operate in the mountains or the deserts of Afghanistan. They operate in the seas, far away from the land borders. So what does the Navy have to do with this mission? The answer is intelligence. The Indian Navy has a lot of intelligence-gathering assets, including drones. The chances are they were used to gather intel for the strike. The Indian Navy could have provided real-time pictures of the Gish Mohammed hideout. Plus, Conducting strikes from the sea gives India an advantage. What advantage, you ask? Well, basically, the closer you are to the target, the less the travel time. When fighter jets fly from India to Afghanistan, they have to cover a lot of distance. Say from Jaisalmer to Kabul, it's more than 1,000 kilometers. The fighters have to reach the target and return safely to base. That's a lot of time. Time that can be used by the target to react, to move, or escape. When you conduct strikes from a ship at sea, the distance is probably shorter and the element of surprise is higher. So that's one reason why this was a different kind of operation. Another reason is the equipment used. Reports say that India used high-precision bombs, smart bombs, basically bombs guided by technology, possibly a drone. These bombs increase the chances of success. They minimize collateral damage. So, India wanted to make sure that the target is hit, nothing else. Coming to the third question, what was the objective of this mission? Well, simple, eliminating terrorists, those planning to attack India. And that's a legitimate objective, something that every country is entitled to. India has repeatedly said it wants a peaceful neighborhood. India has also repeatedly said it wants good relations with Pakistan. But what India cannot accept is cross-border terrorism. Every Indian lives with the threat of terrorism. Why should that be the case? So India decided to eliminate the threat, to neutralize the terrorists before they could carry out attacks. That's the primary objective of the strike. The secondary objective is sending a message, telling Pakistan that it won't be business as usual, that India will act if provoked. The next question is what happens next? Will this lead to a wider conflict? After the Balakot strikes, there were fears of an escalation. Pakistan threatened retaliation. There were claims and counterclaims, but eventually things normalized. Something similar happened after the 2016 URI strikes. So will this time be different? Will this lead to a wider conflict? Not really, because India has not picked a fight with Pakistan. Yes, the strike was carried out on Pakistani soil, but that was the only option. Jaish-e-Mohammed is a Pakistani terror group. It operates from Pakistani soil. There was no other way to strike at Jaish-e-Mohammed. India could have carried out the strike inside Afghanistan or let the Afghan government do it. But that would have been risky. The chances are the target would have escaped, or maybe the Afghan government would have refused to arrest him. So India had limited options. What about Pakistan's response? Does the strike violate any international law? According to reports, the strike did not happen from Pakistani territory, so there is no question of violating Pakistani airspace. As for the target, he was a declared terrorist. His arrest was demanded by India and the international community. So what is Pakistan's argument? Their foreign minister is blaming India for quote-unquote state-sponsored terrorism. Clearly, that argument has fallen flat, so Pakistan has little or no leg to stand on. This brings us to the big question. Will peace elude India and Pakistan forever? Should we brace for more Shindur operations, or will there ever be a day when such strikes are not needed? To answer that question, let me end with another question. Is the solution to the India-Pakistan conflict lying on the table? The answer is yes. It lies in meaningful talks, in resolving all outstanding issues. But despite 75 years of independence, India and Pakistan have failed to resolve their differences.